Yo, 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 welcome. This is my damn podcast. It's brand new. I've never done this before. Here's the introduction I just made. Check it. Yeah. Tyler B.
Podcast.
Welcome, bitch. Yeah, welcome. Yeah. So welcome. You know, like most of my friends, they know me as a musician. I've made an EP. I called it The Imagination of Tyler B EP. I did it because a lot of people, they're like roller coasters. You know, they're up here, and then all of a sudden they go way down there, and then they're all depressed and shit. You know? It's crazy. But yeah, welcome. So, I don't know what to talk about really, but I'll start off talking about that EP actually. I'll put the link in the description. So I made a EP called The Imagination of Tyler B EP, and I spent 2 years on that before I released it. And like I said, the reason why I made it was because people are like roller coasters. They're up here, and then they go way down here. Then they're way low, you know? They're low. I'm talking about you ladies, and you hoes. No, I'm joking. And you bros. You don't know. But yeah. So yeah, I made this EP because friggin' I just wanted to give that helping hand and try to help people. You see what I'm saying? Like there was all these people who were depressed and stuff. I had some friends of mine who were saying they were depressed, and I had some people saying they didn't know what to do with their life, and I had some people saying like they need a counselor, and I've had people saying like things about their family that like abuses their mind state and stuff. So allow me to speak of you know, I can't speak of some people's names. You know, I don't want to give people's names out if they've told me things privately about how like they're depressed and stuff. But when people get depressed and shit, it just inspires me to try and be a helpful, positive person. So for the next 8 minutes, I'll talk about this. Then I'll close this experiment of a podcast, and you'll have to wait till I make a second one to hear another podcast from me. But yeah, so I made this EP, and it was just because, like, you know, I wanted to be a somebody, you know. So I spent 2 years trying to become a somebody. I'm a nobody who's trying to become a somebody. That's how I look at it. There's people who tell me who I look down at myself when I say that. I don't, you know. People are like, stop saying that. Like, fuck you, man. Like, I can be however I want. You're trying to stop me from telling people I want to be a somebody. Big whoop, you know. Like sorry that I pissed in your cornflakes if that's how you feel. But like me, I'm trying to prove to people and inspire people to live life happily, you know. And like there's through the EP, I talk about phases I went through, you know, relationships. Like there's even like money situations that I went through where I was just like in a struggle, and like there's times where I was upset and I got positive again and stuff, and like had to like pick myself up before I like started working on music again and that sort of thing. So I started working on this EP more and more, and then finally after 2 years of doing it, I think it was back in 2014 I started working on it, and then 2016 came. On my birthday, April the 17th, I released it. It was 100% done. I made copies and copies and copies and copies and copies. I started doing open mics. I started handing them out and stuff. I put it online for free. You could listen to it for free after this podcast if you want. And like, I really tried to, you know, uplift people's days and stuff. And like, you know, I feel like it was a great success, man. Like, not man, like maybe you're a girl listening, so lady. But yeah, I put a lot into it. I produced with this program called FL Studio, and I used like the old school one, FL Studio 8. There's like other newer versions of the program itself where a lot of producers make new beats with this program, with the newer upgraded instruments, digital instruments and stuff. But I use all the older ones. And you know, people can't even tell. You know, it's not like like how new something you have is. It's how good sounding it is, you know, and like, yeah. And on that EP, I had my buddy Coulter Croswell hop on the track, and we did a song called "Live That Life," you know, and like, even the song, the title itself, isn't that inspiring? You know, doesn't that bring some positive imagery in life? Live that life, like through the song, I do talk about like partying and shit, and like, you know, I don't regret it, but like, I hope it doesn't inspire people to do coke and shit, because I don't do coke and shit, and like, it'll fucking kill you if you start doing that shit. But yeah, the imagination of Tyler B was in my eyes, it wasn't as much of a success as it could have been. In other people's eyes, it is. I just wish that like it was like a big wave that hit the whole earth and everybody just went crazy about this EP, but like nobody did. Well, there was my friends who did, and like, I got some songs out how I wanted them to come out and sound, but there were also like, I don't know, I feel like I could have done better. So like, now I'm working on the Imagination of Tyler B EP Volume 2. And what I want to do with that is introduce more phases that I've gone through in life after the 2 years of making the Imagination of Tyler B EP 1. And I feel like I could show people my experiences and show them how I got through certain experiences in a positive mind state. And, you know, like, maybe I could like show the world some good, and, you know, like, try and like, you know, I feel kind of weird because I feel like I'm being all political about it, but the truth is I'm not. I'm just kind of like stating how I feel about my EP and introducing it, you know, just something to talk about with this new podcast I'm working on. And yeah, so anyways, yeah, and in the future I think it would be pretty cool to get some other musicians on here, and like, you know, and also just regular people, like, just to talk about stuff, you know. Like, right now it's only me on this podcast, so it's only going to be about 10 minutes. I'm telling you right now, probably about like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Do you though? Yo, so anyways, yeah, so if you find my voice interesting and stuff, maybe I'll make a second podcast, but before I do that, I want to make sure I have somebody else on a podcast too, so that we could, like, you know, kind of like break the ice a bit for the people who do listen to this podcast and other podcasts by me. And damn it, I keep on getting messages on my phone here. I don't get it though. So strange. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. I don't know if anybody likes art, but if anybody's heard about Primitive Designs, it's here in Ontario. It's actually in Port Hope, 2762 Country Road in Port Hope, Ontario, obviously in Canada. There's a place called Primitive Designs, and you could actually see some really, really cool stuff that people have carved and stuff. Like, there's like motorcycles that have been carved, dragons. There was actually like it was like huge ass fucking T-Rex, and this thing looked vicious, man. Like the way it would like looked like it wanted to like run up to me and like crush me or something. Really, it was just like a big piece of art somebody did. And what happens is these big art masterpieces, they send them from Europe to Canada, and then this company, Primitive Design, works with them, and they sell them. But it's really interesting. I'd show you some pictures if I could, but it's on my phone, and my microphone and a phone is two different things. But if you want to see for yourself, you could go. There should be a website here on the card of theirs. Yeah, if you go to www.primitivedesignscanada.com, That's www.primitivedesignscanada.com. You could actually see some of the artwork they do, and it's pretty interesting. Anyways, it's been about 10 minutes, so I'm going to have to cut this podcast. Thanks for listening. Shoutouts to any Tyler B. Rockers. Have a good day, everybody. Ciao.